Because of his age, police took Vent to the Fairbanks juvenile facility. It's there he and veteran Fairbanks police detective Aaron Ring would first cross paths. Detective Ring was investigating the attack on Jonathan Hartman. At around 5 o'clock that morning, Ring began what would become 11 hours of interrogation over 3 separate sessions. Vent was read his rights and asked if he wanted an attorney or parent present. He declined both. Early on in the interrogation, transcripts show Vent vehemently denied a role in the attack on Hartman. Vent: I didn't get involved with nothing. Ring: well, except for that you did, and I'm trying to find out the extent of how you're involved in this, the extent of your involvement. Vent: no, I'm tired. I'm tired of telling the truth, man. I'm tired of telling the story, man. Several hours into the questioning, Detective Ring ups the pressure when he reveals some startling information about evidence gathered at the scene. Ring: see, the problem is your footprints in the blood, okay? So the fight already happened and you stepped in it, okay? That's the problem we have, and that's the problem you need to help me with, okay? Because it's your foot in the blood, not somebody else's. Vent, growing frustrated, lashes back. Vent: I can tell you a big lie and you still wouldn't believe me. I could tell you the truth and you still wouldn't believe me. Ring: just stand up for what you did and say, hey, this is how I screwed up. Vent: I tried to. I told you I was drunk and I just don't remember. Ring: what was it that you did to take part in this? Vent: probably kicked him, probably hit him too. Ring: well, it wasn't probably. Let's get specific about it, okay? You hit him with your right hand, left hand, or both. Vent: I don't know. Probably hit him with both.
I'm thinking he's telling me the truth. I'm thinking like, okay, well, it must have happened then, you know, and that I got myself in a situation where, you know, I might be guilty of something, you know. So I started believing him.
Perhaps the most important piece of information that helped convince Vent that he may have been involved was the bloody shoe print Detective Ring said police found at the scene. But in truth, there never was a bloody footprint matching Vent's shoe. In fact, there was no physical evidence of any kind gathered from the crime scene at 9th and Barnett. They had an eyewitness named Arlo Olson, who was also a guest at the wedding reception. Olson told Fairbanks police that he came outside the Eagles Hall at about 1:15 in the morning to get a breath of fresh air. It was then he looked up the street, saw a car stop, 4 men jump out, assault, and then rob another man who was walking on the sidewalk. Now, Olson told police that he saw the incident clearly, despite the fact that it was dark, he had been drinking, and it took place some 550 feet away.
You couple someone who doesn't recall what happened because of alcohol consumption or for whatever the reason, you will get people to roll in that type of a situation and to adopt what the police officer is telling them that they know occurred. You know, and it's done out of some type of a leap of faith, some type of a sense of if the police officer is telling me that these things happened, then that must be the case.
Next, Holmes addressed the Fairbanks 4 case, to which he's the center of, after penning a confession that alleged it was him and his group of friends who were responsible for the 1997 murder of Fairbanks teen John Hartman.
Is there any question that those 4 guys killed John Hartman in your mind?
No, there's no doubt in my mind. The people responsible for John Hartman losing his life is the 5 guys that I mentioned, including me. The person that killed John Hartman is Jason Wallace. He stomped him out. He told me he stomped him out. He knows it. Marquez knows it. Shelmar Johnson knows it. And Rashawn Brown knows it. And I know it. Plain as that.
They found 6 common causes of wrongful conviction. And These are, some cases have more than one, some cases have one, some cases have all six. So it's eyewitness misidentification, false confession, snitch or informant testimony, bad forensic work, official misconduct, meaning police or prosecutor misconduct, and bad defense lawyer. And those are common, one or all of them are common in, I think, every case of wrongful conviction. In preparing, I went through and all six of the factors were there. There was a fairly significant eyewitness misidentification that was kind of the center of the state's case. There were false confessions. Two of the four gave statements and they were false. Police fed them the information and then eventually they got them to feed it back to them, and they said it was a confession. There were snitches involved in all the trials. There was bad forensic. They kind of made up a piece of evidence and said it was scientifically based. There was police and prosecutorial misconduct, not extreme, but there was misconduct officially. And in the first trial, there were three trials. In the first trial, it was a murder, assault, sexual assault trial. The defense attorney called three witnesses. Two of them were kind of character witnesses. I mean, that's not good defense. So all six of the factors were involved in the Fairbanks 4 case. The Marino case is particularly hard because, like the Fairbanks 4, I am convinced from my work on the case that he is innocent. We haven't identified an actual perpetrator to come forward and say they did it. It was a totally circumstantial case. There was no physical evidence at all. I mean, I talked to his original, his public defender, and he still chafes at that because he said it's impossible. He couldn't have done it. It just could not have happened.
Wow.
And as I've gone along, I've come to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the heartbreak of this work. I'm still hoping to find a piece of evidence that can get him out. But keep in mind, the victim was stabbed 67 times. It was a very bloody scene. He was contacted by the police 2.5 hours after that, and an hour or an hour and a half of that time he had been in contact with other people. So he had an hour to clean up whatever happened. There was nothing of his at the crime scene. No biological evidence, no blood, no DNA, no nothing. The most important people outside of the organization are the people who donate, because it costs money to do